deep, but it's actually deep if you actually.
All right, everybody. This is the boat tour. My name is Sam. We're going to go out on Spring Lake and see what we can see. As you might imagine from its name, one of the things we're going to see out here are springs. Where are you guys from?
Texas.
Okay, cool.
Valley.
Okay.
I'm recording.
Just do this.
Oh, a fish.
Yo, just record like this.
Why can't we just fish here?
Hey, landscape mode. Landscape mode.
Let's go, Marco. We're too smart.
And there's some
Landscape mode.
So I was just hiding under there.
I see a feather.
So, what kind of wildlife do you think we'll see, or what kind of like aquatic animals do you think we'll see down here?
A fish.
Fish, yes.
Turtles.
Turtles, yes. You got it basically with those two. There might be some birds. There's water birds around here too. But I haven't seen any lately today. I don't know, it's kind of cloudy. Saw where we're at? One cormorant, yeah. And of course there's a lot of plants that grow in the water too.
What about catfishes?
There are catfish in the lake, yes. There's no sharks, obviously. This is spring water. It's totally clean and fresh. So this is the same water that people around here drink. Although this water all flowed, we let it flow out of the springs and it goes down and it makes the San Marcos River. Which if you go through town, you'll see that river flow through the city. One of the problems though I have with driving these boats is there's all these plants, right? These plants grow, some of these plants grow 6 inches a day. And if they get up to the surface and I drive through them, I'll have to stop and clear the propeller. So if you ever wonder why we suddenly stop and you see a bunch of plants flying down the glass, it's because they're getting stuck in the propeller.
Catfish in English.
Yeah, it attracts fish though. You can see down here that amongst the leaves, right, there's some fish. These are sunfish, all those like little ones that are like kind of like the shape of your hand, right? They eat bugs. So also all these plants down here are full of bugs that live in the water. Like insects and other things like crustaceans, tiny shrimp, stuff like that. The whole lake, we don't feed any of these fish. This whole lake is like its own ecosystem, supported by the springs and the sun.
Yeah, I thought it was deep.
I thought it was shallow.
Does anybody have any idea how deep they think it is here?
20 feet. 20 feet.
9 feet.
It's a little less than 20 feet, but it's
15.
close.
11 feet.
15 feet, yeah.
Why is it so cool? There's like a bubbles. Oh my gosh.
But this is where we start to see the springs.
This is where you start.
Oh, I can see you. Hey, you know those fishes that are in the sand? They're down there. The fishes in the sand are down. Oh.
So when you see the sand moving here, that's a big fish. It's a natural geological feature. There's nothing alive making that sand move.
Why are they moving?
Oh, there's a big bass. There's a bass down there. See the big one? It's a largemouth bass, right?
What's that? I think there's like
There's a fallen tree down there too. Right?
Yep.
Let's see if we can place ourselves over these springs though. We're gonna go in a circle real quick. Hold on. We're gonna spin.
drifting.
Tokyo drift.
What is
They were
that?
drifting. The best Tokyo drifter is the conductor of the Polar Express. He literally drifted the train over ice.
How do you know this?
Because I saw it the way.
Too smart.
Oh my God! Look at that.
That's a big fish.
Bravo 6 going dark.
Bro, 6
Why does this sound moving?
That must be cool. You just swim under the sea on the line.
Alright, so what did I say the name of the lake was?
Spring water.
What did I say that we were gonna see out here?
Spring
Springs. Well, fish, turtles, but springs, right? So we've seen fish. I don't think we've seen any turtles yet, right?
No.
We'll see some, but these are the springs. What's moving on the bottom there? Each one of those is an eruption of water. There's a massive, huge underground cavern, basically beneath the ground here, that's full of water that fell down into it from the hills over there. There's 4,000 square miles of Texas. When it rains in that section, water drips down into the rock and moves through cracks and caves into this area where it runs up against a layer that it can't flow through, and so it goes up. And so you see down here, the water is forced up through the rock, and it basically makes these little bubbles, right? Bubbles in the sand as it comes through. This is very unusual, but you can find formations like this all around the world. We just happen to have some of the biggest ones here in Texas.
Oh, look at those fishes.
There's this cool sunfish.
Glub, glub, glub. I think it works.
You just told him to go away, bro. Wow.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, the green stuff, right?
My fish is a bit rusty, sorry.
What is that?
I want to see a turtle. I see a
Now it's a little bit
rock.
rockier. You see a lot more rocks on the bottom here. A long, long time ago, the water was a lot shallower. So you could actually, you come out here and it was just a little river. If it wasn't a lake like this, it was like, you could wade through all this. A lot of the shallow areas used to be land. That's why there's trees down there, right? Those are sunken trees that have been underwater for 150 years. But a long time ago, you could walk right out here and you could walk right up to where those springs were, and they were at the surface.
Well, it looks so scary.
Skilly.
It's very sort of jungly over here, right?
Yeah. It's also shallow.
So the springs have always flowed, but what happens was they built a wall all the way down there to hold the water back. They built a dam, right? They did that so that they could force all the water over to one side. And if you go all the way down there, there's a really big waterfall. And that used to power a mill back in the 1800s that they used to like grind up flour and things like that. But that's the whole reason that today it's a lake instead of a river. But if you're looking for turtles, a lot of times they are camouflaged with these rocks. So you'll see something that might look sort of like a rock, but it'll have legs and crawling around, right? That's the turtles.
Alright guys, I have glasses. I'll tell you if I see one.
Okay.
Pretty blind though.
Okay.
I see a rock.
I see a plate.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Leo.
You're welcome, sir.
Great job, Leo. I see rocks and sand.
You're going to cruise by some really big boulders over here. These roll down the hill at one point.
What the heck?
Language.
There's like a brick. What is
Yeah,
it?
there's a
treasure
treasure
chest.
there.
It's probably a treasure chest.
It looks like a meteor. It looks like a meteor.
There's some big mass too.
Wow.
You know what they say? Everything's bigger in Texas.
So yeah, before they built the dam, you could probably stand on top of that boulder and you'd be above the water, right? It'd be all around you. And you
see
could
big
be dry on
rocks.
the top of it.
Imagine that. If you do that right now.
More bats.
Dude, you want to be scared of
Yeah, there's lots and lots of little like bugs and fish that live in these plants. So the bats will go into them and try to scare them up to eat.
That's me. Oh, everyone's going for getting shot.
This is also where the turtles hide. They like to hide in the
I saw
plants.
the tiny bubble.
Oh, there's all.
A fish.
No idea if we'll
Yep,
see
I
any
did.
here.
It was on that side.
How many turtles we see is really just sort of dependent on luck.
I see so much good things. Plants.
I
see a bubble.
Then it's
I
scary.
see
So
the
yeah,
bubble.
pretty sad.
I want to see a turtle like
So that's just good things sometimes.
I see a turtle. Rare, I guess.
What else? Yeah, thank you.
I'm missing the tap point for my turtle that escaped me.
Turtle?
I saw a turtle.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Oh, it's a pipe-billed grebe.
Oh, I like this kind of water. Yeah, me too. That way.
Tell me where my hand's turning red.
So this is where it gets deep. This is the deepest part of the lake. Right?
Oh.
27 feet down to the bottom. Oh, and I'm stuck in those plants again.
Oh no.
Throw those out of the way.
Yeah, weed them
We have
out.
like an area.
This is what? An air thing, like an air balloon?
Look at that. Look at that.
I've just got a propeller on the bottom of the boat. We move the boat, we can chop up these plants, and kind of get them out of the way.
What kind of blue things are there?
So this is another spring. This is a cave opening that goes straight down into the source of the water.
That's a key. Where?
Yeah, it measures the water. It tells us about the water coming out.
What is that
temperature
blue
it
thing?
is, how fast it's coming out, yeah, pH, conductivity, things like that. You know why we want to know that? Why do you think we're curious about what temperature the water is, what the pH of the water is, what the chemistry of the water is down there?
What do y'all think?
How deep is
Is it
it?
double?
Why would you have to know
How deep
temperature?
it is?
Well, yeah, we know how deep it is because we can
20
just measure
feet.
it with a
No,
rope.
no, it's temperature, boys. Why would you have to regulate the temperature? How would you know? Alright, well, tell them.
Look at the way it slides down.
Yeah, we want to monitor the water so we
Dude,
know
I swear,
what
one
the
of us
depth
fall
of the
in
fish is
here.
like. But there's actually
You're dead.
something even more than that. So that water coming out of that pipe, or not out of that pipe, coming out of that cave there, it's part of something called the Edwards Aquifer. And it's actually, if you went down in that cave, and you wouldn't be able to, you'd have to be a lot smaller than a person to get down to that cave. But if you went down into that cave, you'd be in the water still, you'd be underneath the ground in total darkness, and you'd be in a system of underground caves that goes all the way to Austin and all the way to San Antonio. And it's full of millions and millions and millions of gallons of water just like this. And you know where most of the people in San Antonio get their water from? From the ground. The same place that
I don't want to
cave
drink
is
water
in.
anymore.
So they want to know where the water is coming out. They want to know what the water is like because it's the same water that people drink. Same water that 2 million people drink every day. And if you were like the size of one of those fish, you'd go in that cave and go all the way to underneath San Antonio, and there would be wells that would go up into the sea.
What's that blue thing there?
That's the thing that tells us about the water. That's the thing that tells us the temperature, the chemistry of the water. If it changed, we might expect that something could happen to the water that people are drinking. It might go bad, it gets polluted, right? But there's way more springs all around here. This is like a big earthquake crack, basically. And springs come up all through it.
So that was land? It was water or no? It was my bubble.
That's some nice sand.
I bought it.
What was that? What is that?
No,
I thought it was time.
You go right over here too. I'm just gonna take us on a little,
maybe I'll see the top.
a little trip right over here. Y'all keep looking, see if you notice anything, any fish or anything like that. I saw a fish over here earlier. I don't know if he's still here though.
Is
Hey,
there
fish.
an animal that could bite you in this water?
There's a snapping turtle. There's snapping turtles.
Hey, fish, want to see my
Oh, look, there's a
cat?
hole. Like a shark or a crocodile.
Yeah, like a snapping turtle.
There's a hole. There's a hole in the
Take
water.
your finger off.
I saw one last weekend that was like basically like a crocodile, but it's smaller.
Hey, fish, want to see my cat?
Maybe you guys can try and pet me.
Here's my cat, guys.
What the heck? Leo was FaceTiming his cat.
So let me see.
It's a video.
The cat is living its best life. In San Marcos, though, having
Oh, look at that.
I wonder
There were some scuba divers here earlier, and I think that all the fish kind of followed the scuba divers up. When they went out of here. Don't worry, we're not going to be on this wild goose chase too much longer. We're going to our next spot. I just. I'm leaving on this guy over here. Yeah, there's holes down there, right? There's cat. That's where catfish and eels live.
Oh, I see an eel in there. Where? Electric eels. Electric eels.
No, just regular, not electric. Not any more electric than anyone else. Oh, we're finally gonna see some turtles, guys. But there's also some stuff on the bottom over here.
Get ready to record.
There you go. Is it a turtle? Where is it? Point at it.
Where are they seeing?
Okay.
Where is he at?
Just hang tight. I'll take us to some more in a second. But hold on. Here's this pipe, right? There's a pipe, and there's a sifter box. So this is an area where people were doing some work, but it was a long time ago.
Where's that
You know, guys know scuba divers, right? They wear the air tanks on their back. They go down in the water. this was an area where scuba diving archaeologists actually dug up the bottom of the lake. Because one thing they knew is that right over there's that giant cave in that spring, right? Water comes up out of that always, and it's always clean. And so a long time ago, they figured people were drinking that water. In fact, there's Native American legends from around this area. The Tonkawa and the Coaltecan people had stories that like had to do with these springs, and so they think that people have been living here for a long time. So they came here and they used that pipe connected to a vacuum to basically suck up all of the mud off the lake bed here. So this used to be a lot shallower. They actually dug down about 10 feet into the mud on the bottom of the lake, and they looked at everything they dug up, and they found that it was full of thousands of artifacts. Mostly spear points and arrowheads, but Spanish coins, I've heard, the teeth of woolly mammoths and giant bisons. People were living and camping here basically since the end of the last ice age, maybe like 13,000 years ago. People kept coming back here over and over again, and it's easy to imagine why, right? What do you think they were getting here?
Water.
Yeah, clean water. Very hard to find in this area, but a constant source of it here. But there's also, right, there's fish, there's plants you can eat, there's turtles, which might be delicious to eat too. There's a few of them over here. Now I've heard, according to scientists, that there's like over 5,000 turtles that they've counted in this lake. Whoa!
Oh, that's what happens when I don't pay
You got it. You can do that.
Josiah, you got me a bag of chips? Oh, need someone to drop a phone.
Alright. Good job, Leo.
So if you want to see a turtle, there's a few little ones right over here.
Got you, I got you your phone.
Where's the turtle?
Where?
Where's the turtles? Oh,
Save the
They're
turtles.
little, right? These ones are small. They're maybe only a few years old. The biggest turtles, the oldest ones here, can live up to like 30 years, but these are babies still.
Keep your phone not out of them, just in case you drop
Remember,
it.
if you drop it out the window, it's not going to stop.
Yeah, that's game over.
All right, so now we're going to go back upstream.
Because I was gonna do this, but then I was like, oh crap.
We're not going to go any further that way because that's where the waterfall is. It's down over that way. So we're going to turn around. But yeah, if you go past that dam down there, that's where the river starts. It goes a lot, the water flows a lot faster down there. And it's a good place to go swimming, it's a fun place to go tubing and fishing. Everything up here is protected.
Right here. You go that.
You'll never see them from the boat, but there's animals and plants that live here that don't live anywhere else in the world. The problem is they're really small, so you never see them from the boat. Something called the sand market salamander, something called the fountain darter, it's a little fish.
Yes, he went that way. He's behind us now.
Turtles are a lot faster than this boat.
Oh, see what right there.
I didn't get it.
That's a fun little rat.
That's
Alright, we're going to keep to our schedule and keep going.
What was that?
What are those? Did you see that?
Yeah, it's
Bubbles.
Other fishes.
Someone has to breathe.
There's some traffic ahead of us. Folks merging into my lane.
Oh, I saw turtles. It was at the river.
Yeah, we gotta go down our laps this whole trip, man. I've been waiting for it. Can't show off.
I'm going to see my face.
Oh, it is
That
so
AK, but we haven't been able to do it. Has to make sense. Has to seem we need first. AKA.
other stuff. Or you bought golf balls, Victor. You keep yourself. You brought golf balls. No, he bought it for his dad.
I've never been there before, so it should be good.
I'm a pro golfer. Boy, I'm better than you. I'm gonna bet. There's a video about this. I know what
What is your goal?
Say what? There's a nine.
What do you use whenever you're like not in the green, but like outside of the like under the kind of screens? Wait, what do you mean? Like, you know how there's green right on the golf course, and when you cut, well, if you're a little bit outside of it, what do you use? Club. Oh no, that I use an iron.
They're gonna be. Man, do we have a public code?
How much clubs do you have? I have a lot. Chicken. I have like. You're
We are back in the
supposed
springs.
to use your 56.
56.
Do you remember what the little fish the size of
Oh
your
no,
hand
it's
are
the
called?
ones that like
Sunfish.
Sunfish, yes. And you know what the bigger ones are called? Bass. Alright. That's all you'll see out here. Are y'all going to the aquarium, Piper? Oh, you already went. So did you see the salamanders?
Yeah.
You guys see the blind salamander?
Oh
Yeah.
The weird looking one? You know, they live underneath the ground here in that aquifer.
Oh, just like 47
Nowhere else in the world. In fact, right over here there's a thing.
Why did you stand still?
Hey guys, when we get off, after we get off, hype it up even more. This is cool, but hype it up to the point where this girl's gonna be like, oh my god, we wanna get on. But once we get off.
That goes out.